All right, guys. I think we are live, but I'm just gonna wait to make sure. So you may hear me rambling on for a moment. You know, sometimes it takes a second to kick over. But it looks like we are live
live
now. So there we go, guys. Welcome, man, to the latest episode of the Sim Standard Podcast. Myself, SimFBallCritic, along with Smitty, and sometimes along with Azure. Again, we always have to let everybody know where Azure is. You know, Azure has a very, very, very tight schedule, guys. Azure is a teacher. So I don't think there's anything else that needs to be said. Very, very tight schedule, man. So when he's able to make it, we're happy. Whenever he's not, he's still here in spirit. Then that's why you see his name there on the thumbnail. So there you have it, man. But we definitely want to welcome you guys to the show. Got a lot to talk about, man. A lot to talk about. A lot of topics. And yeah, I look forward to getting into it, man. And actually, let me edit one of the topics here. I messed up a little bit. But anyway, guys, y'all know how we do, man. Before we dive into the topics, just to give you guys an opportunity to get up in here and make sure everybody is here. You know, we're going to kick it around really quick. Spend a couple seconds on talking about the current NFL as far as what our teams are doing. And then right after that, I'll let you guys know what the topics are. We'll dive into the topics, and we should be able to have a good show. So I'm going to start it with Smitty, man. Smitty and I, you know, as far as our teams, we didn't have a great week. How was your week, man, in general? And, you know, how you feeling currently about your Detroit Lions?
Man, I mean, y'all saw it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a terrible, terrible game. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, what's basically what the vibe is, and I'm pretty sure, you know, it's been spoke about online and everything, you know, ESPN and all that, is that, especially here locally, is that there are players on the team, especially the veterans, that are feeling they're not feeling Matt Patricia's coaching style. And that's part of why they're playing so gassed, because it's like he's running them hard. Just like they basically said in New England, they ran them real hard. All their players ran real hard in practice. They went all out a lot. So it's like he's coming in and he's running them real hard through training camp, all that good stuff. So it's like, because of that, that's part of the reason why they put out those lackluster performances. But at the same time, you have a very predictable offense.
Yeah. Very
predictable offense. I mean, the Jets didn't necessarily need to know the calls. I mean, look, you had people that called into the show, that called into the local radio shows and were able to tell what you were doing. Like when Theo Riddick would come out there, all of a sudden, you know what he's about to be. You know what's going on. You know what kind of play more than likely is going to be called. So they knew what to do. And it's like, they need to get on board, real talk. It's not like any of these players on this team are world beaters. But what I will say is this, though. The funny thing is that around Detroit and everything, all these people want to Caldwell fired. All these people want to call, oh, man, if we get Patricia, oh, man, I can't wait, man. We need him, man. That's from the Patriots. You know, that's Matt Patricia we got. Okay, all right. Everybody was going wild. You know, you got
from that cloth, though, Smitty. He's supposed to be cut from the tree.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. But see, the funny thing is that now people saying, oh, but he's not Bill Belichick, though. Well, you knew you wasn't getting Belichick over here.
God.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but even Belichick, that's what they practice hard. They do all that in New England. Look, you got the...
Uh-oh. What happened? I lost Smitty there, guys. We're going to have to see if we can get him back. Here he is. See, guys? Yeah, that's the beauty of Skype. See that?
Skype, right?
We get right back in, though. And we couldn't do that with Hangouts.
So, but anywho, what I was saying was that, you know, we got, you know, when we when we got the GM, we have my man at GM. His ain't slipping my mind right now, but we got him from the Patriots, and now he gets his guy. We all like, oh, like people wanted Caldwell gone the year before,
right?
So that he got to get his guy. He got to get his guy so we could build a team and we could beat it. Okay, well, you waited a season, even though you had a losing year. But the bottom line is, you had a guy that of 4 seasons you had 3 winning seasons, and you had 1 losing one, and you fire the guy, and then you bring in Patricia, and now y'all already talking about he may not make it past this season. That's how doubtful people are based off of training camp and 1 game. So everybody was talking all positive about the whole Patriot bloodline and tie-ins and everything else at that point, especially after the Super Bowl was over. Oh man, Matt Patricia's gonna be a potential candidate. He may go to Detroit. They linking him to Detroit. No one was fretting. But now you fret. Now you scared. That's the stuff that's the most corny about all this stuff. They're like, man, if the Lions don't win next week, it's over. The season is already done. They're pretty much losing. You could call it a wrap. Really? That's what we doing now? And see, that's what I'm saying. So, like, yeah, there's not much really to get into. The defense played lackluster. We didn't have pass rush. Our wide receivers dropped passes in the end zone. Real talk, we could have made it a heck of a lot more of a game than what it was. They dropped key passes, key deep balls that, especially Marvin Jones, he dropped them boys. It's not like the defense messed him up. He just didn't come down with it. If he just closed his hands in and reels it in, you're talking about at least another 14 points. And who knows, like I said, who knows? That could possibly be a momentum swing. They may not necessarily score 40-plus points against us. You see what I'm saying? So I don't, but once again, that's rearview mirror talk at this point. But the Lions have to step it up tenfold, big time. If they don't, it's going to be, like I said, they're going to mess around. They definitely will take a L in Cali. And then you're coming back here to face the Patriots the following week?
Yikes. Man,
please. So that's what I'm saying. And see, this is the main point I want to make real quick, and I'll give it to Sim. See, look, taking Sim's team, taking the Steelers, right? Had the same coach for a while now. Same head coach. Did they win Super Bowl? Like, see, here in Detroit, they say, oh, but they won Super Bowls, though. They won 2. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like they just won the Super Bowl last year or anything like that. It's always a quest to try and build the team up with the same leadership or similar. You change some pieces around, but you don't just fire somebody because you're not getting the chip yet or you're not getting there yet. You know what I'm saying? Now, the Steelers lost some pieces and everything, but they didn't lose their heaviest hitters. You know what I'm saying? Or even if they did, you had some stout areas. You had some tough defenders, some tough guys. Maybe the secondary isn't as tough, but you got a decent linebacking core. Or you have a key defensive lineman that can generate pressure. Or you got guys like Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. Like, we don't have those kind of players. But see, people in Detroit, some people act like we just got it like that. And this is the other thing too. How the heck Darius Slay gets hurt? And instead, you don't even bring in Tease Tabor. What the fudge?
Oh,
that's the guy.
I thought Smitty was about to let it go, y'all.
No. No, like, how you not gonna have Tease Tabor? He only played 2 snaps, and you don't even sub him in after dude gets injured, and then you kill Brew. Yeah. You don't even put him out there. So it's like, see, this is what I'm saying. What is really going on? Like, I think it's a mix of multiple things. it's not there's a problem with the coach not necessarily having a team and they're not being on board, but at the same time, it's also the players, the coaching, not the coaching strategy. Like, I don't know what in the world the strategy is right now. I have no clue, but it's something that's gonna have to be built with some kind of time here. You know what I'm saying? Whether they win or lose, but I'm just hoping for a much better performance. I'm not concerned about them winning next week. I just want to see them. I want to see progression. I'm not expecting them to be, a 10-6 squad out the gate just because Patricia came from the Pats. So that's neither here nor there. So we'll just see what happens come next week. Come this Sunday. We'll see what they do. So, but I'll throw it to you, Sim, man.
Man, I'm going to be real short because I could talk all day about the Steelers and, oh, Lord. Man, first of all, listen, they deserve to lose the game that they didn't lose. It ended up a tie. If you're a Browns fan, if you're in the Browns organization, I mean, you got to be sick right now. The Steelers give you the ball 6 times and you find a way to still not win the game. Steelers just turned the ball over entirely too much. I don't like the way that transpired. I mean, I know people want to say, oh, well, it was bad weather and all of that, but you know what? Tomlin said it the best in his press conference on Tuesday. He said, well, guess what? The Browns was dealing with weather too. Why didn't they turn the ball over 6 times? And that's how I feel. I think this weekend, man, is going to be interesting. Patrick Mahomes, man, y'all remember me talking about this guy last year when I was thinking maybe the Steelers could, if he didn't go early, maybe they'd grab him instead of Josh Dobbs. We all know how that played out. This guy is dangerous. His arm talent is incredible. But outside of that, Tyreek Hill with that speed, nobody's even talking about Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt. We're going to have our hands full. The Steelers are going to definitely see what the defense has to offer. They look good against the Browns. And again, no disrespect, but it was the Browns. I can't really say if the defense has improved because the Browns is not like, oh my God, Tyrod Taylor had a horrible game. Outside of him being able to, scramble around a little bit, I mean, wow. So we'll see. I don't know. It's hard for me to predict this, Smitty. Y'all know me. I don't know what the team is until about week 6. I don't know what to think at this point. It's better than a loss, but this could come back to hurt the Steelers big time when you're talking about playoffs and claiming the division. We'll see what the Ravens look like tonight against Cincinnati. I expect them to beat Cincinnati, but we'll probably be able to gauge a little more what the Ravens are versus the Bengals. Not to say they're that much better than the Bills, but divisional games always bring out the best of everybody. But that's all I got, man. Would not be surprised, guys, if the Steelers start off both weeks of the season and after the game on Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised if they are 0-1-1. Would not surprise me at all, but we'll see. But enough with that, guys. I spent Tuesday and Sunday talking about the Steelers, so now let's talk about some other stuff, some gaming stuff. That's what you guys are here for. So let me give you guys the rundown, man. This is what we're going to definitely talk about tonight. First and foremost, we got to talk about NBA 2K19. We'll basically share our thoughts, man, on the game since its release. No, we have not tested each and every mode. I don't know how much we can really say is better or worse than the prior game because, I don't dive in that deep into it, but we'll just give you our impressions. And we want to talk about Madden 19, man, post-patch, giving our thoughts on that. I think that was a really meaty patch, but we'll definitely talk about those things. And we got a topic here, man, from one of you guys in the community, at d.charles on Twitter. Again, at DEE.DOT, Charles, CHARLES. He wants us to answer these questions. What current non-gameplay feature would you like to see flushed out that's currently in the game? What new gameplay features would you like to see introduced? What new gameplay mechanic would you like to see added? And what current gameplay feature do you want to be built upon? And then also, Smitty wanted to talk about the toxic behavior in the NBA Live community. I'll definitely let Smitty head that one because he probably knows a little bit more about that than I do. But we definitely want to talk about that as well. I have seen a little bit of it, but that's pretty much the skinny of what we're going to talk about tonight, guys. So I guess, Smitty, man, we could kick it off with NBA 2K, man. Or actually, where do you want to start, man? Do you want to tackle NBA Live first, or kind of lump them two together, or what?
Yeah, it could be lumped together, or yeah, you know what? Yeah. That's fine. we could do it that way, because I'm just sitting up here thinking about it like, well, should we lump it? But yeah, we definitely can. Well, first of all, I'll just touch on the NBA Live side real quick, because we touched on that last week. We talked about NBA Live 19. We essentially gave our marquee thoughts on the game at that point. And what I would say is this about NBA Live as far as the community is concerned. Yes, the game needs a patch in a big way. The game needs to be a heck of a lot better than what it is. And I mean, there's a lot of deficient elements in there, and there's a lot of control taking aspects of the game that I would expect out of 2K, definitely not in Live. And it's very disappointing to see. Now, will they be able to tune stuff? We'll have to wait and see. But that's besides the point. I know this is a tuner culture, and I get it. Okay, I know people pull up the example of Fortnite all the time. But at the same time, when Fortnite was released, Fortnite was in beta state when it was put out. And when they were getting updates and all that stuff, it was early release, basically. It's not like Fortnite was on the shelf and then you went ahead and bought it. And then you had to wait for all these title updates. That's the difference here. NBA Live has, and look, don't get me wrong, Live 19 is a game to have fun with. It's a fun alternative, but it's more of the pick up and play nature. And I'm saying that to the fullest extent, because one of the issues, and this is not with everybody, but this is with some people in the community, in the Live community. Some people want to defend Live to the max. I mean, you call out problems with Live, oh, you just don't understand basketball fundamentals. No, that's not what it is. The game has problems. But look at this issue in 2K. Yeah, we already know 2K has its issues too, but they're not nearly as egregious and control robbing as NBA Live. Well, see, if you just spend more time on the stick, dude, I played like 15, 20 hours of NBA Live. I know what I'm talking about. And this is like initially, I played a lot of Live 19. And matter of fact, still to this point right now, I played more Live 19 than 2K19. So, and I mean, it's for the purpose of getting feedback. But the problem is that, I mean, look, I make a center. I have a center, okay? I got a rim protector in the game. And when it comes to inbounding the ball, they won't inbound the ball. Like, if the CPU, if one of my CPU teammates has to inbound it, they won't do it. They'll just stand there. The clock runs down. I have to come all the way from the back court and come up to the front court so I can get to the ball. Why? You know what I'm saying? Why? My ball handling skills are at 50. I have no skills dribbling at all. And the thing is, and that's another problem, why can't I develop those skills? Outside of the icon, following the icon path, which gives you a slight boost in your dribble rating eventually, I have no chance to develop any of those skills. I should be able to. I'm not saying that I should be crossing folks up like AI, but I should have some dribble skills. You see what I'm saying? So I should be able to do something with the ball, whereas they can't just automatically knock the ball away. Because I'm telling you, I get robbed from the ball. If I don't immediately go into a post up, that ball is as good as gone because I have no way of protecting the basketball. You see what I'm saying? And the game doesn't have like organic ball physics in it like that. So when people go to poke at the ball, it's going to be a two-man animation that's going to play out, and they're going to knock the ball away virtually every time. You know what I'm saying? So, and I mean, yes, I know that the games had updates and everything. I played it with the updates, and the fact of what I'm talking about still remains. I have so many clips of these erroneous things happening. Trust and believe. I could post uploads for days of these aspects where my controller is being robbed and where things that are happening in the game that don't make sense. But the problem is that people try to downplay and say you don't understand basketball. You know, it's you like we got in order for these games to get better, you got to give feedback. Give the feedback, but don't cape. Don't cape for the game. Just because it's your personal favorite, that's fine. It's like taking Britney Spears and Christina. You know what I mean? We all know Christina could sing better, but you swear up and down Britney can sing. The fact of the matter is that Britney cannot sing. Okay? But you swear that, you know, and that's what the problem is out here, is that people swear that Britney can sing, and then they're trying to defend the aspect of the NBA. Like, the NBA's there. You're not seeing it. Like, what the heck are y'all talking about? No, it's not. They put all the all the emphasis that should be going toward the NBA, they put in the street. You know what I'm saying? So there's not a lot to really sink my teeth into on the NBA side. Can they make the gameplay smoother through patches and stuff like that? Yeah, they definitely can. Oh yeah. But I'm sorry. There's nothing there that really excites me. I mean, other than me being an NBA enthusiast, like, that's why I will play franchise on live at all, just because of that aspect. But the street side is what this game is mainly about. The court battles and all that stuff is nice, like I said, but it's it's a letdown that the NBA side of the game did not get nearly as much attention that it should.
No,
it's one thing, and it's one. Listen, I know they added new sets, they added new freelance sets. I appreciate that. I know they're adding the visuals and got players looking better and all that stuff and different animations and all that. They did a good job with it so far. I'm proud of that. That's good. I'm proud of them. But when it comes to the game of basketball depicted on the court, it's not something that visually it makes me want to fire the game up. It doesn't make me want to fire it up. And that's why I said the game that I played along with numerous others at EA Play was not this. You see what I'm saying?
Oh NBA Lord, 2K. Don't tell me they pulled a Madden 18 on us.
Oh, they pulled a Madden 18. There is no question about that. Yeah, they pulled a Madden 18, no doubt. Like, whatever happened, they pulled it because the game was not feeling like this and not playing like this at EA Play. Because, like, I think I had said it in one of my streams or whatever when I was out there. I'm like, yo, I don't like I'm not sure if they did much work on franchise or not, but the way that the NBA gameplay feels, yo, I would be, like, it would still suck, but I would be okay with running a franchise just because the way the gameplay feels, like the ebb and flow. And it's lacking that. It's lacking that in a big way. Way too much canned stuff going on. It feels too mechanical. And it wasn't feeling like that at EA Play. Even though, now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there weren't any two-man animations and all that. No. They were there, but they made sense when they triggered. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all made sense when they triggered, so I was okay with it. But, it wasn't control is compromised kind of situations, I was all right with living with. I'm not cool with what's going on here and the way this game feels right now. There's no way JJ Barea should be stonewalling me in the post. You know what I'm saying? He's making me take a layup instead of dunking. I'm a 7'2" rim protector. I should be banging on him all day. Instead, they got me doing layups and stuff. Like I said, I'm not gonna go on and on that, but that's what I'm saying. And as far as NBA Live community, you got to stop with the caping. And I know, listen, every community does it. Every community does it. But it is undeniable, and this is going to segue into 2K. It is undeniable beyond the shadow of a dang on doubt. NBA 2K19 is it. Flat out. It's it. This year.
Oh, man. Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? It's, look. Ball freaking tangibility. I mean, I'm sorry. Ball tangibility is sick in this game. I mean, I haven't uploaded clips yet, but I'm going to start uploading clips and stuff. I mean, I'm seeing the blocks and the swipes at the ball and even the two-man. See, this is what I'm talking about. You got the two-man animation scrum kind of deals happen, but then they still do make sense, though. And it's like the ball has a variable of being loose in those scrums, because if someone else gets involved and hits the ball will squirt out. And I see that stuff, and I'm just like, my mind is blown. I'm not saying it's perfect. Obviously, none of these games are going to be perfect. So, but NBA 2K19, you got to play basketball. This is the same thing we said about Madden. We said the more the sport gets refined, and I mean, look, we all know Madden 19 came out, and yes, it had bugs, yes, it had issues, etc., blase, we know that, okay? But the bottom line here is that end users started getting exposed yet again because, oh, I don't like the RPM. Can they cut it off? Oh, man, the way they're covering, I mean, I can't pass the way I want to, and I can't do this, and I can't do that. Like, there's so many I can'ts, and it's like, well, if you make this adjustment, you'll know you'll be able to stop that. If you do this, like, if you do these fundamental things to the sport, you'll be more effective. And what ended up happening, some people, they just can't handle it. And what's happening is, even with NBA 2K19, people are complaining about not being able to blow past people.
Oh, Lord. People
are complaining about not hitting every shot. They're complaining about, man, I can't handle the ball the way I want to. I even told somebody online, I was like, Czar broke it down. He did 2 videos. Shout out to the Czar.
Yeah, shout out.
Because this what needs to happen with Madden.
You know what, Smitty? Let me say something really quick on those videos. It's a shame, man, that Czar's videos nor A-Dub's videos, which he's just doing it completely independently, they don't get no views. It's crazy how Czar, well, they both do it independently, but I mean, A-Dub is shooting off the phone. It's crazy how these videos are not being viewed and they're not circulated amongst the community where they're breaking down how the game works. That's just crazy to me. I don't understand it.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. What Czar did, and what he had broke down, he did 2 videos breaking down the difficulty, and he's telling you, basically, he's telling you the level. He tells you the difficulty that gives the most balance is All-Star, Pro, and Rookie. They're going to give you that. Yeah.
I missed that part.
Yeah, he said the difficulty that's the most organic in terms of, like, because he talked about shot success and difficulty, and then he also talked about the more as far as player differentials, like when it comes to players being able to respond defensively to what you do offensively, the gap gets a lot tighter as you put it on Superstar and Hall of Fame. Even when it comes to shot success, because, you know, the way that he explained it was basically, if you're playing on Hall of Fame, the reason why they stick with you and all that stuff the way they do is because when you put it on Hall of Fame and Superstar, you're basically putting on a mode where, in terms of game sense, you know the game, you know all the controls, all the moves in and out. So, welcome to the jungle. Essentially, that's where you gonna get when you play on that difficulty. But when you play it on All Star, it gives you more of that balance. So it's like more of a, it gives you more of that disparity between the best and worst players. So like if I got Ryan Anderson on me if I have Ryan Anderson defending me on All Star, it's gonna be easier for me to cook him with a guard with like Kemba Walker. It's gonna be easier for me to cook him on that difficulty than it would be if I played on Superstar or Hall of Fame. Now, that doesn't mean that Ryan's going to be this stout defender, but what that essentially means, and shout out to Apex, especially if you've seen some of Apex's videos, the positive joints, where he talks about angles and catching players slightly out of position. You got to really pick those spots, just like you see in the NBA. When players take advantage of exploits, it's either footwork or it's either positioning. As soon as they see it, they perform whatever respective move, and then they cook them and go past them, or they'll do an in and out dribble, cross them over, take it back, spin around, whatever move they choose to do. They play with them, and then they bust the shot, take it to the rack. But yeah, so Czar broke that down. If you really want to know about that stuff, you got to listen to his videos. Please pay attention to those, because he's breaking down the series stuff. He's breaking down plays. He's breaking down the legit offenses of these teams that are being used in the NBA. He's showing you how to use this stuff so you can get better. You know what I'm saying? So definitely shout out to him for that. He even talked about when it comes to patching the game and stuff like that. He talked about that too. But like I said, just check the videos out. He got them up, like somebody said, Erlacher said. They're on Operation Sports on the 2K forums. So, but as far as this game in general, I mean, I am thoroughly impressed. Playing my player, I've only played my player, and I haven't even started my league yet because I've just been messing around in the lab, on the scrimmage courts. And I played a 2 or 3 play now games. Played with the Pistons. I also played with various other teams because I just want to feel out some other teams. And I mean, the attention to what you're doing on the court, seeing the paint be as congested as it is when you go in there, it's so beautiful to see, and it is very entertaining to play. Like, I'm personally, my mind is blown away. The ball physics, you got to protect the ball, so they're making you use the mechanics. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, we know that they got the 2-man anthems and stuff like that are problematic at times, and there are some aspects of control that they could definitely work upon. But all in all, I can't wait till I start my league up, man, because this game right here, I mean, it is very, very refreshing to see these teams try to adjust and play according to, like, their strengths and weaknesses when they switch up offenses and everything else. It's beautiful. And I mean, and look, I know people complain about, man, they got layup controls and they got all that. Think about this. Think about this though. What I will say is this. Okay, I understand the frustration of it, but at the same time, I would very much love the control of my shot and my release timing. You know what I mean? Because if I'm missing shots, if I'm missing layups, and I'm just like, dang, I wish I got that and one. instead of it being a slider necessarily, wouldn't it be sweet if you had control potentially over the make or miss of that shot? You see what I'm saying? And plus, this is the other part too. If somebody fouls you on the shot, it can still get blocked even though you get a green release. That doesn't mean, it's not necessarily guaranteed you're going to hit every shot. Which I experienced that because I'm going in, I drive to the hole for a layup, I got the good timing, and I'm up here in my mind like, bet I'm about to make this shot. As soon as that boy gets swatted out of there, I'm like, oh snap, okay, I forgot. Because I'm so used to, if it's a green release, it's money no matter what.
Right.
And that element ain't there now. So I could take that perfect hook shot, but if a weak side defender comes over and blasts it out, my perfect shot is gone now. It's not just gonna go just because I got a green release. These are the kind of things that I like in the game. Now, I can't speak on my league yet. I haven't messed with it yet, but I will say this. This is the one part that does upset me, though. That is upsetting, is that, and I'm pretty sure it has to do with 2K not necessarily being able to get the rights on all the players. I would figure that's what it is. But every draft class still has Joe generic players pumped into them. So it's not like you're going to have the full draft classes from start to finish. Because when I do my league, I'm starting up with the 1996 draft class, and then I may throw the 97 draft class in there afterwards. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I gotta throw Kobe and Nash and all them cats up in there. That would be tight. But but at the end of the day, though, I like what 2K did. They gave us a lot of depth in this game, and it's a heck of a lot just to sink my teeth into. That's why I haven't even started up my league yet, but I'm very, very thrilled with what they did. And see, that's the stuff that I say about NBA Live, and I'll throw it to you, Sim, after this, is that NBA Live, the meat and potatoes are all elements that are off the court, off the NBA side. And the problem is that, we need on the NBA side of the court, we need some depth there. I know that it's not going to be on 2K's level. I'm not expecting that. But what I'm expecting is some meat and potatoes depth in terms of either what we can do on the court, how they play on the court. Because remember you guys, NBA Live, I think they must be done with Synergy Sports, because remember Live 14, Live 14, they had the court cue, and even though Live 14 was an eyesore visually, but there was a lot of legit basketball in that game. It was, like I said, visually it was an eyesore, but you saw teams perform differently, and they would adjust offensively and defensively to what you're doing. And they took that out. So it's like, when you have that stuff in the game and you get rid of it, now your game feels mundane. And this was something that was promoted in NBA Live, was having those AI differences. And that's another element.
Live DNA.
What happened? Oh, yeah, Live DNA. Yeah, that was one thing from back then, too. But going back to EA Play once again, Sim, and this is the other thing, too. When they promoted the game, and when we played it, me and Shop even talked about it when we did our interview. There were aspects of the game in Live. Draymond was doing Draymond stuff. Steph, Clay were doing what they do. Now, the game right now, every team does everything. There is no real differences in terms of the AI tendencies of other players on these teams that make them stand out. And that's what I'm talking about. When that's why this game feels so cut and dry and straightforward right now. We need to see that that's why I'm saying there's a lot of work that they need to do. From what was done at EA Play to now, I don't know what happened, but they got some work they got to do on that end, because I'm going to be cooking with NBA 2K because of what those cats brought to the table. And they brought a heck of a lot to the table, and I have yet to dig into all of it. So I'm very proud of what they did. Don't patch it.
Oh.
Do not break that stuff. Leave it the heck alone. That's going to be the main point of emphasis on making them cats. Do not mess with it. These people got to learn. And plus, you saw what happened. Look, if you want more 82-point games in the 2K league and people wanting blow by animations and wanting all that stuff, go ahead and nerf it for those people. But otherwise, leave the game alone and make people have to learn, because every single one of these games, regardless if there's a street side or a basketball, NBA side, there needs to be the essence of straight up basketball should not be tampered with. That has to be held accountable, like held true in all these games. And we can't have it get watered down just because some people want to be in their feelings and they want things to go a certain way, and because it ain't working for them, they want stuff to be watered down. Can't have that. You gotta either learn or say, yo, I gotta wash my hands of it. This challenge this is too high of a hill for me to climb. I quit. Let me go over here and defer. I'm cool with that. Because I'm seeing it online, and I mean, there are people replying back to dudes that are like, man, I can't dribble past nobody. I can't make my layups. I can't hit a jump shot. And other people like, dude, I'm able to do all of them, and I'm playing on Hall of Fame. So what are you doing? Like, yeah, it's a challenge, but I'm still able to do it. So this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what'll happen, but I hope they stick to their guns. So we'll see. But I'll throw it to you, man.
Yeah, man. I'm glad Smitty tackled all of that. I don't even have a whole ton to say to add on. I just will say that I fully agree, man. I'm thoroughly impressed right now with NBA 2K19, and actually I got a video that'll probably be up tomorrow. Yeah, I'll probably release it tomorrow, saying that very thing, to leave it alone, don't patch it. And it's because I did my own experiment. If you guys watched my streams the last 2 days, I jumped right into my league. I didn't lab. I did it purposely because I wanted to feel the game, right? And if you guys go look at those streams, I was getting blown out. I mean, losing the game 70-45. I mean, blown out. And I'll probably restart my league. I played a game today, Smitty, against your Pistons. I played the fourth game of the season. Very, very close game. And I might upload that game. I might cut it up just to show you guys that, I did improve after having some practice time. And then I'll probably start it over. Great, great game. I lost it in the end by 5. I mean, I called the timeout and got a tech. I mean, it was a phenomenal game. Played out great. But anyway, the thing is, man, 2K is exactly... It's making the point I was making, I believe, last week about how I'm going to start looking at these games a little differently. Sometimes, guys, I think we get a little spoiled and we get a little ahead of ourselves in terms of when we ask for certain things in these video games and we demand certain things. We have to still respect the fact that it's a game. And the reason why I'm making that point, nothing's perfect. I've seen some instances in 2K already where you're like, why did that happen? But the majority of what we're seeing, like Smitty said, it makes sense. It's the perfect balance to me of having a two-man interaction or having these animations play out, but they make sense. That's all I ask for. That's all I would love to see in Madden. Give me the scenarios, even like the ones they have now. They have some DB and wideout interactions where you kind of like, yeah, I can see how that happened. And we're cool with it. It's all about variation. I mean, until it gets to a point where games are fully organic, which I don't know. Maybe they will one day. Who knows? Games are getting pretty close to it. But I can handle situations where AJ Green scores a touchdown. Good Lord. AJ Green, guys, just to give you all an update, he just broke a tackle on a slant and housed it. He has 2 touchdowns right now for you fantasy owners. The Bengals are about to kick an extra point. They're up 13-0 right now. First quarter, 6.5 minutes left. AJ Green still being AJ Green. Really scaring me, guys, because I'm just looking at both of these teams, and I just don't know how my Steelers are going to fare this year. I'm just keeping it real. We'll see. But anyway, back to 2K, man. It's beautiful basketball, man. I mean, Smitty, even some of the, like you said, the little scrums and like some of the I think I even posted a video. I showed you and Azure and Neff in our private chat where dudes where you're seeing dudes straight big boy down there pushing you out the way. I mean, it's beautiful stuff that you're seeing happen in this game. And not to mention everything else, Smitty, the stuff that 2K already had, all of that different play variation and freelance. I mean, it's time to, I think we have wanted to give them the crown for a long time, Smitty. And I agree fully with what Apex said in one of his videos a little while ago. It was like one of the ones he did. It was about 20 minutes or so, and he was just saying how he was loving the game. And I commented something on his video, and he liked it. I said to him, and I said to you now, how long have we been saying, man, that if 2K, if they are able to address the majority or eliminate the majority of their legacy issues, it's over. And they, to me, seems to have done it. They have significantly eliminated some of the legacy issues that have plagued that game. And it's a great basketball game, man. I don't think, me personally, again, listen, guys, this is our personal opinion. I don't feel like the game is arcade at all. Not when you're playing in my league. I can't speak on the park. I don't play in the park. I do play a little bit of my career. But, you're talking to a guy that wants a sim experience. So when it comes to 2K, I just play my league. And I don't play online because, frankly, I don't have, X amount of other teams or guys that I can play with, and we'll be in there having a good time. If we did, maybe I would. But 2K is my offline franchise game of choice, and I'm having a great time with it. I'm trying to think, Smitty, is there anything else, man? I have seen a couple little instances where, you see a little bit of shifting from time to time. It's like I said, some of the normal video game stuff, I'm really starting not to, to bash the game so bad because a lot of these games share that same problem. And I think it's just a system thing. You know what I mean? Like, some games do it a little better than others, but obviously it's a thing that it's just a video game thing that nobody can fix as of yet. Maybe the technology is not there. I don't know. Yeah. The depth in my league. Oh my God. Man, this game has something for everybody. And like I said, guys, it's not like it won't like this last year, but they've added to it. One little small detail I noticed, Smitty, and I'll probably make a video on this at some point. I noticed it in my stream. I love now how when you go into the coaching settings and you go into your matchup and how you want to play an individual player, whether you want to, smother him, gap, loose, what have you, it tells you exactly what the positive and what the negative is of your choice, which is great for me because I tell people all the time, basketball is like my second sport that I watch. I mean, well, really it's boxing, but basketball is like, I know basketball, but I don't know basketball. I'm not a basketball enthusiast like a Smitty, like somebody who really knows the ins and outs. I mean, obviously I know a good majority, but what I'm saying, guys, is like sets and all of that. I don't know all of that because I don't watch it on that level. You see what I'm saying? So to me, that stuff is great because it's teaching me the game. And it just having those tools at your disposal, to having the exposure to those tools, man, and having them available to you to teach you things, and then you can apply it and see it play out. Now, again, disclaimer, we're not saying it's perfect. It's only a few days I've played the game now. I mean, I got it on Tuesday. I waited and got the $59.99 one. And there you have it. I've only played literally 4 full games in my league, and I played 2 games in my career. So I haven't delved all the way into it, but good games you're supposed to be able to tell at first glance. And then you start finding out later on what the depth of the game is as far as what it offers. And it feels a lot better than me, Smitty, man. Like you said, ball tangibility off the charts. Is it perfect? No. There's still times when you go for a rebound and there's still body clipping. But Smitty and I used to always say this about Madden, man. It's like the 80-20 rule. It's all about efficiency. If 80% of the time the game is playing out the way it's supposed to, I have no complaints. Because I know it's not going to be perfect. Trying to think, Smitty, in this short time that I've played the game, is there anything I don't like? I don't know yet. I'm having a love affair with it right now, man. Y'all let me lust over her, man. You know, let me get my few dates in first, and then I'll let y'all know how I feel about her in a month. You know, let's do it like that. Cause right now, she just fine to me. Like she got me fascinated.
But see, just you saying that alone, you need a month. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole point right there. You need a month. I didn't need one session of live, and then it's over.
Yeah, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's the fun game.
Yeah, it's a fun game, but it's like playing NBA Jam right now. It's like you know basically what virtually everything is. There may be an animation here or a move there that you haven't necessarily seen yet, but outside of that, that's really it. NBA 2K though, it's like the depth is there. I mean, look.
Yeah, man.
Playing through the story. I want them to bring you know what? I would love if they had the G League back in the game. Just listening to the commentary. You see how spot on the commentary was? Oh. Even the Chinese commentary. I mean, I know I didn't understand a lick of English, lick of what they were saying, but the bottom line is all of it flowed. The ebb and flow. And this is year over year. The ebb and flow, it just flows. And see, the more 2K keeps working on these things, the better. There's going to be years where it drops off and stuff like that. Like I feel that 2K has had an ongoing issue with that side, with the presentation in certain elements, especially when it came to the halftime report and all that. But the bottom line is that they need to do more. Like it just needs to be a lot more smoother in terms of the commentary and all those elements. And it's like they keep adding elements to the presentation. No, it's just a matter of it all working as harmonious as possible. Because when you put so much into the game, it's going to cause some problem at some point. That's just the nature of it. But yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed. Thoroughly impressed. That's the title right there. I said for the longest time, like you said, I've said as well. If all 2K needed to do, ever since 2K11 after I playing that game, I said all they need to do is figure out, and I mean I'm pretty sure a hard process, but figure out how to separate the animations for the most part. Make it separate so that we're not losing as much control. We feel we have full control, or for the most part, of what we're doing. Get those ball physics on point, and let the gameplay be legit. AI tendencies, all that. And you got yourself one mean game. You just shut the industry down. Right now, they just pulled the shutters down. You know what I'm saying? Like, they shut the door right now, man. It's crazy right now. And I'm having mad fun playing it.
It's crazy, man. You're absolutely right. It's a very solid game right now. And it's funny, man, because if anybody is tuned into this show that, haven't been around for a while, and, they have that convenient amnesia, and they only hear what they want to hear. I'm sure they're in a tizzy right now because they're like, what? What? They're praising 2K? No, they can't do that. No. I thought they were EA guys. I'm sure that's how they feeling right now, Smitty. But we've been waiting for this, man. Like 2K again. We have always looked at 2K and Madden and Live and all separately. 2K to me has always been the game that was on the cusp. Y'all have heard this y'all have heard us say that for years. Since 2K11 probably. They've always been right there to being close to as perfect as a game could get. Meaning there definitely will be flaws. But man, it's hard for me to say the game is not good. It's very hard for me to say that. Even if I see something that I don't like, it's hard for me to try to act as if the game isn't good. And I'm loving it. And like I said, man, I did the experiment on myself in the stream. As real as you gonna get, y'all know I'm not afraid to show you that, oh, I'm doing bad. I'm not gonna pull those streams down. But it's a reason why that happened. I'm out there trying to play it like 18. Can't do that. And I was learning on the fly, like, oh, you got to get in there and learn them shots. And here's another thing, Smitty. Why do people always complain about stuff that you can cut off? I never understood that. We used to see that happen with Madden all the time, too. Oh, I hate that tackle cone. And cut it off. You can cut it off. Like, even in 2K19, you can cut off the shot meter. I don't understand why people complain about stuff like that is in your control to cut off. Because y'all know me, I always advocate that. I'm always the crazy nut that say, yo, I like to cut off the shot meter because I just, to me, it's more natural when I just watch the animation. But I can't do that in this game yet. Because, the shooting is different. Like, I got to make sure I get these times. Like, I need to use the meter and pair it up with the animation so I know, oh, okay, that's his shot release. So what I've been finding myself doing even in practice, I'm watching the animation and then quickly looking at the meter to see if it turned green. Once I get that down, maybe I'll cut it off. But I don't know if I'm that much of a stickler about it this time because I kind of, I like the way they kind of changed it up. I more so had a problem with it, Smitty, when it was, and oh, by the way, you can decide where you want the meter. More options. So I more so had a problem with it when it was at the bottom of the feet because I found myself looking down all the time and not watching my guy shot. So I might keep it on now because I have it up, up the top part. So again, man, I don't have a lot that I can complain about. There were some brief moments. If you watch my stream, I'm not, doing any self-promoting. I'm just saying there was a couple things that popped up and I'm like, what? I went off, but it's always going to be something with video games. But for the most part, I love it. I love it. I love it. Shout outs to my man Tico right there. Another guy, game changer. He's been a fan of Live for years. But as you can see, he's in here right now saying how amazing the game is as far as 2K. See what I'm saying? This is what we should be doing as a community, people. We should be able to judge every game, and we should be judging these games accordingly. It's a guy, Smitty, I might have his name wrong. I think his name is is it like Eric P or somebody like that? I think that's his name. I can't remember the dude's name, but he's been making a lot of live videos and complaining about it, but he's keeping it real. And he said,
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, this is the only shot that I'm not even going to say a shot, but this is the only call out I have to some of the live fans. Y'all got to cut that out, man. What up, Tico? Y'all got to cut that out. Y'all have to stop acting as if that game has no issues. It's the best thing since sliced bread. No, because it's not going to get better acting that way. And in case you guys didn't know, shout outs to my boy, Eddie P. Okay, that's his name. Appreciate that, A-Dub. Shout outs to my boy K Spade, man. Let's take a moment to do that. K Spade, guys, in case you don't know, he's now on the dev team for NBA Live 19. That is, man, y'all don't understand how happy I am for him. Because I know now, if I didn't know before, which, guys like Cornell and others, I'm not as close to the live devs as I am with Madden. I know them, but I don't know them outside of, like I said, like Cornell, Donnie, guys like that. But Spade is my man. And I know the interest that he has in heart, you know, when he goes in there. So I love that. But I have to say this, Smitty, before we move on to the next topic, man. Again, man, what is it with Tiburon, man? I don't understand it. I'm not saying these games are booty, but even if you look under the EA umbrella, why is it Tiburon that just seems to have the biggest issues? Why aren't they not allowing their devs to do what they can do, or allowing the freedom or resources or what have you? You know, I know these games are not perfect. And somebody told me the other day that even franchise and, you know, and FIFA and NHL are not that great either. I'm like, yeah, but look at the depth that it has in comparison to the Tiburon games. Look at what NHL 19 did, which I actually have the game, by the way, and I haven't even opened it or cracked it open, but I'm going to dive into that too just to take a look at some things. Look at all of the stuff they did around scouting.
Yeah.
We ain't see that in Madden. We don't see that in NBA Live. You see what I'm saying? It's starting to get frustrating, man. But speaking of which, man, that's a great segue. Segue into the whole Madden stuff. Real quick, Smitty, man, before we get into the questions that was asked, you know, by D. Charles, what are your thoughts, man, on Madden 19 post-patch?
Well, I mean, I've been playing a lot of basketball, so I can't necessarily say right now.
That tells the story right there.
Yeah, so like I can't really talk about that patch. Look, I had every intent when that patch came out. I read all the notes. I'm like, bet I want to get it in. But then, you know, I looked to the left. You know, look, let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something real quick. I will have to. I'm probably gonna stream tomorrow, and I'm gonna stream some Madden, and I'll definitely get my feel of it then. Because look, I got Spider-Man, right? I've had that game since Thursday. I haven't played it yet.
I redboxed that thing. Oh man. But you know what's funny about it, Smitty? And you know what? I'm giving all of my video topics away in this show. I've recorded some footage, and I'm going to give my thoughts just in general as to why I'm not going to buy it. Has nothing to do with the game. I'm bad with RP. I don't know why. I'm bad with role-playing games. I don't finish them, and I'm afraid to buy it and just, you know, and don't play it. It's going to end up like Uncharted. Sitting right here. I'm looking right at it. I ain't finished that game yet. And I don't want to do that to myself, but the game is phenomenal. I had it on Redbox, dude, for 3 nights. I had every intention of only paying $3, but I just could not take it back. And I was like, oh, it's worth $10. Keep it another night. Amazing. Oh, tell me this. Is there any continuation beyond, like, once you finish it? Is it any type of, like, open world, or is it once you finish it, it's done?
Oh, I mean, I know they have New Game Plus on there, but I have no idea. None. So I haven't played it yet. That's the main thing. I haven't even played mine yet. And I've been staying away from people doing play now, streams of it and everything, because I want to experience the whole. I don't even know how an action sequence looks when somebody fights yet, because I want to wait until I play it myself.
Don't watch my video then. I'm telling you now, unless you've already, because I'm just basically gonna show the game, and I'm just giving, talk a little bit, probably be a 4 or 5 minute video, dog. Because I know you, Smitty. I know you gonna love this game.
Oh, I already know. Look.
Oh man,
I love the PS2 Spider-Man off the film and everything like that. So that was like the best one back then. So yeah, I know I'm gonna enjoy it. That's partially why I haven't played it yet, because playing live and getting feedback and then swan diving into 2K, it just makes me want to play more and more basketball right at this moment. Okay, me and then too. Plus, look, the Detroit Lions got freaking obliterated. I was not in any mind frame at that point to want to play football. Like I was just very upset. That just pissed
Nah,
me off.
man. I had to
So
play football after the way
that
we played. Had to redeem the Steelers.
so yeah, this is the thing. Oh, they said okay. Ivoroni said there's gonna be some DLC coming for the game. Oh, so if that's the case, then this game gonna have some meat.
You know what?
Yeah.
This might be my Black Friday purchase, man.
Yeah.
Cause I want it. I just can't bring myself to pay the $60, knowing how I am, man. I feel more comfortable if I get the game on cheaper, and when I finish it, I finish it. And again, folks, for you guys who are just gonna peek in and hear it, I already know. Oh, but you pay $60 for. Shut up. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this game is amazing. I've already spent $10 on it via Redbox. It's just that I have so many games that are just collecting dust because my brain is wired to just play sports games. However, one game that I will be buying and will be playing is Red Dead Redemption. You can guarantee that.
See, Sim, look. All right, look, this is kind of going off the board just a smidge, but just want to make this point. Okay, I know people were upset with Madden when it launched and all that stuff. You know, some people were pleased, others were upset, the bugginess and things like that or whatever. Me personally, I liked it. Okay, I like Madden, I like Live, I like 2K, and the thing is, even playing this beta, I was telling Sim before we started the show, that blackout is on tap. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good. It's very good. I'm getting that game too now. And see, you had all these games and stuff were all out. I played the Battlefield 5 beta, which personally I enjoyed it. I was playing, I played some of that Blackout this week. I enjoyed that, so I had to make time for that. Playing, I'm playing Live 19 for the sake of getting feedback and just feeling the game out. Time there. NBA 2K, more time in there. So it's like all of these. It's like it's a good problem because, and I got Spider-Man as well, which I know is a phenomenal game, and I ain't even played it yet. So it's like
amazing.
I got these games sitting here that I haven't really dove into yet. And this is a beautiful year, and at this point, at this juncture here, because all these games, and I mean this is where subjectivity comes in, but for me, these games are really good games, and I'm not losing at all. And then, like what Sim just said, Red Dead, that ain't came out yet. When that comes out, what do you think's gonna happen to the productivity with Madden and 2K and all that? It's going to take a small hit because that game is going to be that dang on deep, and it's like it's been nearly a decade since the game came out. You see what I'm saying? So that's the hey D-Mo, no, my wife endorses it, so it's okay. She understands. Like, but this is the stuff that this is why we game. This moment right here, it's been well over a decade since I felt like this, especially about sports games coming out like this. Because remember, when we always make mention of sports titles, in terms of them being great, like on consistently, PS2 and Xbox days. You're talking about going to GameStop, getting NCAA. Some people would do after a few weeks, they trade it in for $35 and get Madden. You know what I mean? It's like, you had multiple titles that were that good off rip, just out the gate. You had this makes me think of having Game Day and having your NFL Blitz and having your NBA Streets and your NBA Inside Drives and 2Ks and all that stuff. And the reason why I say that is because you had multiple games that were good where you're kind of like, looking at your stack of games and you just looking like, dang, I got all these good games, but I don't know what I want to play though. And
Right.
it's not like a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's like, dang, I love what games I got right now, and I really just don't know what I want to rock with right now. That's what I'm saying. And it feels real good at this era, and it's only getting better because, like I said, at least me personally, I enjoyed the Black Ops beta and everything, so I look forward to that. Uh, Battlefield, Red Dead, you know what I'm saying? So it's like plethora of really good sound quality games about to be dropping, and I'm very happy about that. So I'll throw it back to you, Sim.
Yeah, man. I guess we can we can hit on the other topic, which is pertaining to Madden. And I'll try to answer them. I'll read the questions and I'll answer them, and then throw them to you. And just a quick fantasy update, guys. If you have AJ Green on your team, Lord have mercy, 3 touchdowns, folks. And let me remind you that it's not halftime yet. The score is 21-0. Bengals over the Ravens with 10.5 minutes left in the half. I don't know what has gotten into these Bengals. All I do know is, as a Steeler fan, I'm not feeling good, man. I mean, it's early, guys, but I'm saying when your division foes are playing well, you should be. Oh, and Flacco almost just threw another interception. Threw it in the coverage, but Brown was able to catch it. But anyway, so shout outs again to at D.Charles on Twitter, at D.Charles on Twitter. He wants to know, I'm going to read the first question first. What current non-gameplay feature would you like to see flushed out? Current non-gameplay feature I would like to see flushed out. It's so hard, Smitty, for me to say one thing. But I'm sure we're going to both say a couple different things. But it's so many things, guys. But judging by where the game is right now, if we're talking non-gameplay, I have to go into franchise. If we're talking about how franchise is built right now, I have to think about something that I feel is a fundamental thing that's desperately needing to be upgraded, and it's still hard to pin down one thing. But I would have to say I'm gonna cheat here, Smitty. I'm gonna cover a couple things in one. I would have to say roster management, man. Which in my eyes, like I said, I'm gonna paint with a broad brush so I can have multiple topics. That to me means scouting, free agency, re-signing your players, having a 90-man roster, perhaps, so we can really create and replicate what the NFL does, and having X amount of players, when it's cut time. Anything pertaining to the roster. I would love to say, Smith, I would love to say like the wear and tear stuff and all of that, but if I'm looking at it from the standpoint of what needs to be done first, if they're going to take baby steps, they got to get the contracts and roster stuff together, man. And it's, guys, trust me, it's so much more stuff I could say. Y'all know the stuff that we talk about. But if we're talking about that, I'm going to classify that as not being a new feature, because scouting is in the game, even though it might be new to, it might be new to the game in terms of how they do it, but I'm going to call it a non-new feature because scouting does exist. The next question he's asking Smitty is, what new gameplay features would you like to introduce? And I think I put an S on that myself. I'm just going to say feature because we could talk for days about multiple features. So what new gameplay feature would I like to see introduced? I would like to see gameplay feature. Wow, this is a tough one. I would like to see something done to the trenches. I want to see dedicated controls and moves. Dedicated, meaning you know exactly what move you're making at all times. I would love for those moves to match what the player does. So if I have a bull rush type of guy, I would love to be able to bull rush on command. If I have a finesse guy, I would love to be able to assign a move to him, such as he likes to rip, he likes to spin, he likes to counter, etc., etc., and I can pull that off on command. And maybe bring back the old school, like it used to be, where maybe you can incorporate both left and right analog stick in the trenches. Update, guys. The Ravens just scored. It is now 21-6, but we might as well say 21-7 with Justin Tucker back there kicking. The next question, Smitty, he's asking, what new gameplay mechanic would you like to see added? And actually, I'm going to lump those two together. I think introducing something new and improved to the trenches, I have to see that, and then I would like to see new mechanics. So I'm going to say the answer I gave can, pretty much tie both of those together. And the last question here is, what current gameplay feature do you want to build upon? Wow. Again, this one is multiple things, but I'm going to stick to the script and say RPM. I want to see RPM expand to where it's more one-to-one movement on every player in the trenches, running down the field, all of that. I mean, every area of movement and the running game and all of that stuff. I want all 22, which it is there now, but I would like to see that build upon, get it even tighter, and make it matter in the trenches. Make it to the point where what we're talking about in NBA 2K19, how angles and all of that stuff really matters, which it's some of that happening in Madden, but you guys know what I'm saying. It could be better. Build upon it to where we're not getting so much of that gliding. I don't know. It just seems like, again, that's a video game thing, because you see that you see a little bit of that in 2K. But your FIFAs and your PESs, those games seem to be able to replicate that the best. So I would like to see Madden get it tighter, get it to where each step really counts, along with that surface really matters. Like the field is a living, breathing surface. And that'll be it, Smitty. As far as me being limited to one thing. So I'll throw it to you, Smitty, and I'll read you the questions again, and then you can answer them as such. The first question again was, what current non-gameplay feature would you like to see flushed out that's currently in Madden 19? And it's non-gameplay.
That's non-gameplay. Practice. I would like to see the practice. I would like to see you actually practice with your practice squad out there. And see, the thing is, I would like to see injuries actually count in practice, because practice players can get hurt too. So that's yet another layer to think about when it comes to potentially signing a player. Because if you're going to sign a player off a practice squad and he could potentially be damaged goods, or you should be able to at least look at their report of injuries that they've had, look at their history, and see what kind of injuries they've had, and if they have anything current while being on that team. That's something you could think about in terms of if you want to keep them, if you want to add them on or not, sign them on or not. That would be something that I would say non-gameplay wise to see flushed out. So that way, when you talk about doing your game plans, like, even if the game planning and everything is the same, if you have that the same, you want to work on gap integrity, you want to work on cover 2 and all that stuff. Whether if you're on offense, you're using your offensive squad, but then you pick who you want. Do you want it to be your first string? Do you want it to be your second string? Do you want, who do you want this to really impact? You see what I'm saying? So, and then who you're going up against, let's say, do you want to use your first string, second string practice squad? You know what I mean? You're going to put in You're gonna put in your least, your lowest players on the depth chart and put them out there at times, or mix them up and see how they do with the, with the first stringers or whatever. Like, you need to have that integrated level of practicing out there. So it's like I said, you can leave the drills alone, but at least having that practice squad element actually in the game, that would be a big deal. That would go a mighty long way.
Yeah, I like that.
Let me see. What was the second question? What new gameplay features would I like to see introduced? Gameplay. Pass mechanic.
Yeah.
A better passing mechanic. I mean, I know that wouldn't be brand spanking new, but from history. But I would like to see more. I would like to see what I have not seen is just in general. No, doesn't have to have vision cone, doesn't have to be anything like that. But just having general sensitivity when it comes to passing on the stick. Left analog stick. Like what we had in Tiger Woods 14. You put it on sim mode, that analog was super sensitive when it came to your pass control. So not pass control, excuse me, when it came to your shot. If it was a smidge off, it didn't matter what the rating was. You were shanking that shot off the tee or wherever you were at on the course. So I would like to see it where you can actually just use the left analog stick and truly control your passes. You know what I'm saying? Now you can do your high points and all that, but I want to see it. It's going to be passing with a level of contextual awareness as far as defense. So what that means is you throw your moderate level pass. They're not going to throw it as if there's no defender in the vicinity. You see what I'm saying? Like how it is in Madden right now, linebackers, you really can't throw the ball in front of any linebacker because they're going to knock it down, especially if you're trying to throw a pass with a lot of zip and get it in there real quick. You can't really do that without them jumping in the, like fully selling out and jumping all the way up in the air, jumping high up for a high point kind of reception. We need to be able to have receivers just reach up for the ball in some instances where the pass is just thrown to that location and to a location where only they could get to it, but they'll have to extend for it. They just don't have to fully just, leap as if their life depended on it to catch it. And that's the problem in Madden now. So that would be my gameplay feature that I would introduce. Let me see. What new gameplay mechanic would I like to see added? Oh, gameplay mechanic that I'd like to see added. I already got the RPM tech. That's already in there. Okay, what I would like to see added, I like to see composure levels.
Oh, yes.
Give us the stuff that was done in NCAA back then. And have the composure levels in the game. And stadium impact. I know that's something that I would like to see composure levels on the players because we know stadium impact will never happen because how owners feel with the NFL. So I don't think that would ever happen. But if it could, I would love it. But gameplay wise, yeah, I would love to see composure levels added into the game. You have players that get, they could, if you're doing play now, everybody can be balanced. But as the game goes on, if you got that defensive lineman that can never seem to get around the edge, he can't beat that tackle. You know what I mean? His composure level's going to go down. He's not going to be as confident. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not getting past, or he always has to fight through a double team and he's not able to get through that double team. Stuff like that. Same thing with wide receivers. If you're throwing the ball their direction, but they keep dropping passes or they get lit up or whatever going across the middle, that potentially is going to affect their composure.
Right.
So stuff like that would be a very nice add-on. And let's see, what gameplay feature would I like to see built upon? I would love to see the scheme archetypes built upon.
Uh-huh.
You know, I would love to see that built upon. Because I mean, I honestly I love that about franchise. It's cool. It's just that it's on a base level. So it's not, there's not a lot of depth with it, but at the same time, it's good. I do like it when it comes to progressing players, that I'm able to see the players that actually fit my scheme, they get more of a boost than guys that aren't. So, and I like that. I like that. So even if I have a guy, like, that's the stuff that makes me be even more considerate when I'm playing, when it comes to drafting players, because of the players currently on my squad, you know, they're being built out and built up. If I get some players that aren't necessarily that high on the rating scale, and I want them to build their skills up accordingly, that's a means to an end. You know what I mean? A good one. So I would love to see it built upon. Now, in what way it should be built upon, that I don't know. That I'd have to give extra thought to. But I would love to see that mechanic built out more, flushed out a bit more.
Yeah, man, it's if they could just get the flushing, man. It's so many things they could flush out. Like, I mean, you talk about adding stuff, which was, I've already given this feedback just to give you guys that information. I gave this feedback when I was first introduced to schemes, and this was, I went to a franchise event. And not that it matters, guys, but just notice that, I don't know if everybody noticed, but CFM is no longer the name. They just call it franchise now. So I went to a franchise event back in May, and it was focused, singly on franchise. We had to test things out. I will continue to say this for you guys who like to play as a player. That player lock camera from the defensive perspective was there in May, because I created a strong safety, and I even told Smitty I had plans to play as a strong safety and try to do a little series around that, but not now. For whatever reason, the camera's gone. It was there. I wish I could have recorded it. It was there. But anyway, when they talked about the schemes and we found out everything that was coming to franchise, I said, man, you know what would really be great? I would like to see coordinators find its way into this game now, and have the coordinators would dictate the scheme, right? So unless you have, maybe that's another archetype for a head coach. Maybe you have a Doug Peterson type of coach where he calls his own plays. Maybe that's a coach that you can pick, and when you set up your coach or whatever, and you don't necessarily need a coordinator. But I would love to see offensive and defensive coordinators have the scheme be based on them. And it would be, to take it a step further, I know I'm getting nutty here, you have to create a game plan. Kind of like, y'all remember when Game Flow was in the game? Not necessarily Game Flow, but taking it to a next level. You have to build the game plan based on your coordinator's scheme. And these are the plays that are available to you during the game, right? And your coordinator, I mean, it could go really, really, really deep. But basically, your coordinator would be responsible for the scheme. You can only call plays that are a part of the scheme, not just a playbook. But the playbook needs to be linked to the scheme, right? And then that's how you can determine whether or not you want to fire your offense or defensive coordinator. See what I'm saying? Because if they're not coming up with a nice scheme, if they're not putting the scheme together, I mean, it could get crazy, guys. There's so many ways to do it. And just like my man Doug Thomas says here, yeah, I mentioned that too, man. We mentioned that last year, the stuff in long shot, all that film study and all of that kind of stuff. It's so many things that they could do. And we're not asking for stuff that is impossible, folks. Because look at all of the things. Like, if you really ever sat and thought about it, whether you like the game or not, whether you think it works great or not, Have you guys ever just sat and thought about all of the stuff in 2K that's built around just plays and play calling? It's ridiculous the amount of depth they have in that game with all of the offensive sets. Freelance and then triangle. I mean, it's so much stuff that you get to even if, you know, when you go outside of the normal plays for your guy, it's so many other things you can do with motion and all of that. So if 2K can do that, if other games can have depth like that, there's no reason why we should sit here and act like, oh, that's too much to do. I can't go with that excuse no more. Me and Smitty have been thrown that in the trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the coordinator stuff and the wear and tear and all that stuff, all of those ideas have already been there by EA. Head coach had it. And then again, go back and play franchise mode in Madden 05. And contract stuff was there. See what I'm saying? So, I don't know, Smitty. Those are just my thoughts. You guys who are Ravens fans, Bengals just scored again, man. I don't know what's happening. I'm not used to seeing the Bengals have their way with a Baltimore Raven team. I'm not used to seeing this. This is crazy.
Playing like the Lions right now.
Yeah. Oh man. And speaking of, oh god, it was bad. It was hard to watch Stafford, man. What in the world was he doing? I was see. That's how you know you're fans of sports. I was screaming at Stafford like, "What are you doing?" You know what I mean? Like, you better than that. You're way more talented than that. And speaking of that, Smitty, what about that last interception that Derek Carr threw? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh my Lord! If anybody in the chat that saw that game, that might have been the worst interception I have ever seen. He threw a Madden-like floater out in the flat, or it was kind of like an out route, and the linebacker was underneath the route, and the receiver was covered, but the ball floated so long, our kids could have picked it off. It was one of the worst. It was one of the worst passes I've ever seen. Like, it almost looked like, literally, you could say, "Bruh, is somebody got money in your pocket?" Crazy. I don't know what he was doing. But anyway, guys, back to Madden, man. And let me just make sure, Smitty, we covered everything. I thought it was, because we covered the toxic nature.
Yep.
Live, the community, and 2K. So now we could just, ramble a little bit. We got 18 minutes. Here's the thing, folks. My thoughts after the patch, not bad. I haven't spent a lot of time with it either. I'm actually cutting up footage now for my next franchise game and my offline CF franchise. I was going to try to cut it tonight. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it tonight. I'll probably finish it and post it maybe Saturday before Sunday, so it comes out before we actually play the Chiefs. But I love all of the information that was in that patch. That's a hefty patch, and I definitely like the fact, and I think Smitty actually mentioned this to me, I love the fact that there were things that they emphasized in the patch notes saying, oh, and by the way, we still know we got, we definitely have other things to do in this area. We're not done here. We still got this to do. This is what we've been asking for. Transparency, man. Let us know what's going on with the game. And I think NYKia is probably still in here, man. He could probably chime in. On the field, Madden is getting there. It's getting there. It seems like it's probably in its best state right now, and I expect to see it improve even more. But it still has a ways to go, folks. It still has a ways to folks. Okay, y'all want to know if there's a link? Yeah, I'll send you guys a link really quick. I'll post it to the patch or whatever. Madden just has to. They have to unchain the game. I think that's what they really need to do, Smitty. I mean, we've been saying this for years, but they just have to find ways to loosen the game up, because Madden still suffers from a lot of Every game has a dice roll, but it's all based on how do these games replicate the situation. It's the same thing we said about 2K earlier tonight. Yeah, they have dice roll situations, I'm sure, but even the animations are starting to make more sense. You can look at the outcome and say, oh, okay, I see why that happened, right?
Yeah.
You look at the trenches in Madden, there's no mini game there. It's patty cake. It's like patty cake, baker man. It's like, okay, I'm gonna dance with you for a little bit and then I'm gonna break free. Or there's gonna be an insta shed. And these things happen in the NFL, okay? Aaron Donald, I've seen him insta shed numerous times. The biggest problem that Madden has, and I've always said it, is how they replicate these situations. They make it look too stagnant. And that's the problem. Like Smitty alluded to it earlier, man, in 2K, you get these moments where it's this two-man it's a sequence, but I mean the way the thing is playing out, it's enjoyable to watch. I had a play the other night, Smitty, where these guys were wrestling for the ball on the baseline. Yeah. And they were going back and forth. Finally, I got control of it and went up for the layup. I went in replay and was amazed. Like, man, this is what I'm talking about. Whether or not that was a pre-canned or predictable animation, it made sense. I had no problem with it. We can't say that about Madden. Like I said, guys, the game, Madden, I don't think Madden is trash. I think Madden is solid. It's just that it hurts when you see these other games that have pushed it to the next level. Madden is not next level yet. And that's what we're still waiting for. It's growing, but it is not next level. You understand? Like, to me, Madden is the equivalent of how we feel about NBA Live versus 2K19. You can play it, yeah. It's got some good rules in it, yeah. The coverage stuff, all of that, but it's still the handicap is the stagnant stuff that it has in the game. That's what hurts. That's what was hurting the love that, we don't have the same love to play it over and over and over and over because, it's just too much of that the handicapping, man. Like, I don't know. We'll see. And then outside of that, this is the last thing I'm going to say on that, Smitty, and then I throw it to you. Outside of all of that stuff, the depth is not there. That's the biggest problem. If the game was as deep and as immersive as NBA 2K or MLB The Show, we would stomach these problems way better. Because we still playing it. We just started up our online league. We having a good time. But if it was deep like 2K, we wouldn't keep playing as much. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's why, I know at least for me, that's why I'm so big on the gameplay. Because first, I want it to be as close as it can be. But number two, we don't have the depth to even take my mind away from it. You know what I mean? We don't have the depth to allow me to say, I'll let that slide. It's a game. It's hard to do that with Madden because it's so bare bones with franchise and stuff. So, don't get me mad, Smith. But that's all I got, man. Do you got anything else, man, or anything else that maybe we didn't cover that maybe we should?
I mean, we covered a ton. Talked about a lot of stuff, shoot. I mean, so what Sim said, I mean, I'll say this just to piggyback off of it. The problem with Madden is that, yes, like I said, even though it's two-man animations in there, bottom line is we don't have that control. Or the outcome that's playing out it's not sensible. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to what we're trying to do. Now, yes, they could do things in title updates, but look, 2K19, what they got is already happening out like off, initial shipment. Not you gotta get this update. We gotta wait until we get the feedback from the people and then do an update or two, and now we're in a better spot. Like, nah, it should feel that good. It should be that clean off rip. And that's something that we're missing. Cause I mean, this game right here. Oh, and when Sim was talking, I just downloaded the FIFA 19 demo. I forgot that came out today.
Oh man,
and I'm playing that right there. See that right there, that embodies exactly what we're talking about. The RPM tech in that game, and I mean, this is year 2 of RPM tech in FIFA. It feels so much better with that RPM tech. See, this feels like how it was feeling at EA Play. Like I played it for a hot second, and I'm like, man, this is where Madden and NBA Live got to get to. They got to get to that point because everything feels so much better. The player movement, the way it all ebbs and flows together, it's crazy. And I see what my man just asked too. I meant to chime on that earlier. He's saying the potential XFL game coming from Jumpman.
Oh yeah.
I'll say that. I'll say this: either Sony or 2K have to make it. It's got either Sony or 2K have to make the game. Number one. Number two, if it's going to be a game made in terms of the platform they put it on, it has to be on console. It has to be on console and PC. Mobile could be third, or it could be a side piece game. Okay? So that that's if that's he said,
isn't it linked to, isn't there some type of linkage to the NFL though?
What? The XFL?
Is it? Which one of them leagues had like ex players were doing it? And
yeah, no, that's dang, I forgot about that.
The XFL would be like that Vince McMahon joint.
Yeah, that's the Vince McMahon joint, not that.
You. Yeah.
I forgot what the name of that league was. I think it was like the AFL or something like that. I forgot what it was, but yeah, I don't remember. No, that's something different. Yeah, I don't remember what it was called, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, but no, that's look. This is, if they're doing a game, if they are, that's what has to be done. Period. That's all I'm gonna say on it. I mean, look, we people just want this thing. People just want a game, another game, outside of Madden. The desperation is extreme for it. Okay. So, I mean, you saw how everybody left on that gridiron greats, and we don't even know what's going on with that. So, gridiron they talking.
Man.
We have no clue what's going to happen with that game or what that game is actually going to be at some point. They said they had a studio, now they don't have a studio. Now they got a developer. Now they got this. They said there was going to be a trailer coming at some point. Now there's nothing happening until 2019 or something like that.
Man.
We, when
don't
something
talk
actually
until you got product, man. That's rule number one.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what they do. But in the meantime, XFL put it out there on their official Twitter. If y'all guys wanted a game, what platform would you want it on? So that's why I would say had to be on PC and console. As far as studio preference, it had to be either Sony or 2K. One of those two had to make it. EA already got their football games. So I'm saying someone else's vision, do their own thing, and let's see a legitimate game be made. Now, it probably won't be that popular because people are going to want to edit teams and put the NFL in that game. But, still, I would like to see that if that were to be the case. So we'll see.
And think about it, guys. Again, you know, you're free. We're all free to have our own opinions, but the position that Smitty and I always attempt to take is getting everybody to see it rationally and also seeing it from not from your own eyes. What I mean by that, we all would love another game, us in the sim world, right? But we have to always account for the fact that there's Lord have mercy. Joe Flacco almost threw another interception. Kirkpatrick just dropped it, guys. I mean, it was loud. It was almost like Dre Kirkpatrick was running the post route for what's the little dude name, man, that came from Arizona? Brown. Is it Stevie Brown? I think that's his name. The little receiver. Well, some of you guys are knowing. But anyway, let me get back to the point, man. Doing 3 things at one time. What we have to remember, guys, is we are a small community of folk that think this would be great. This must happen. Da. I think a company like XFL or whoever else would look at, John Brown. Okay, appreciate that. I think a company would have to look at what they're going up against. Is there really? Let's be honest, guys, for a moment. Oh my Lord! Now y'all saying Jerome Brown. Which one is it? He one of those guys. We'll just leave it at that. But anyway, let me stop interrupting myself, man. I think if you are a company, you have to look and say, okay, am I going to get a return on investment? Is there a market for this? Let's be honest, folks. Let's be really honest. Is there really a market for an XFL football game? Honestly. Outside of us. Where's the market? Like, who wants it? And I think we have to be fair and look at it like that when we're talking about gaming companies. Same reason why what Smitty just said. 2K attempted with All-Pro Football. It was fire. We thought it was fire. However, Smitty, I'm going to call it out. Same people who saying how fire that game was ain't even give it a chance when it came out. A lot of people didn't give All-Pro a chance. And I'm going to take even more credit. A lot of people might not even have known about that game if it weren't for us. And the reason why I'm going to say that, I know I'm not the only person. Yeah, I'm just saying. It was a time when that's all I was doing was uploading All-Pro Football. Back to back. I mean, you was getting 3-4 videos a day. Way back when. And it was numerous people who was like, man, I had never heard of this game. So, I say all that to say this. If 2K tried that and they decided after 1 year not to make another game, what's that tell you? Backbreaker. Smitty and I met those guys. They had all these intentions to make a part 2. And they already was in a field where they're making money. You know, that Euphoria engine is used in the medical field and all that stuff. They said, nah, we can't compete in this space. We're not going to do it. Sony hasn't attempted to make another football game. Nah. You see what I'm saying? So, let's not get lost in the fact that XFL is still not, quote unquote, a license. That's still not the NFL. Even if it is a legit company, just like Canadian, everybody keeps saying 2K should make a Canadian league. But y'all are forgetting, we are in America, and most American people want NFL football. They want to see AJ Green get 3 touchdowns. They want to see Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. You understand what I'm saying? So I just don't feel like that market is there. And you have to consider that when companies, you know, we have to look at it from that standpoint and not be mad at people for not making a game. I get it. I get why 2K like, nah, we good. We killing them right now in basketball. Let's focus all our attention on this because obviously it's working. See what I'm saying? So wishful thinking, but I'm not gonna be thinking it for long that we're gonna see an XFL game. That's just my 2 cents. Exactly, kid. Yeah, kid was out. There was a whole bunch of us out there was playing APF way back in the day. And then the funny thing, Smitty, some of them have a nerve to tell me that I don't know how good that game was. I'm like, really? Y'all need to do your homework. Go back a few years and see if you be hard pressed to not find multiple all-pro football games on my channel. But yeah, man, the rant is over.
Yep. We all went in on APF.
Come on, man. We was killing it out there. I mean,
yeah.
And again, why did 2K not make a part 2? 2K, almighty 2K. That's what people are losing in this this mindset, Smitty, is they're not remembering. You got a replicable company, like a company like 2K bowed out. Because, again, I'm going to say it one more time. XFL is the essential of being a generic football game. That XFL license don't mean nothing. Who cares about that? See what I'm saying? So, I don't know, bro. Just my 2 cents. I just, we ain't had nothing else to talk about, so I figured I'd just do a quick rant. Uh-oh. Ravens are threatening, guys. 15 seconds left, 2nd and goal from the 2. I don't know how much difference it's going to make, but the way the Bengals look tonight. But that should about wrap us up, man. It's 10 o'clock. Smitty, you got any last words? Anything else you want to mention before we get up out of here?
I'll just say, like always, appreciate all you guys coming through, hanging out, listening, chiming in the chat and everything like that, hanging out here with us for the show here tonight. We always look forward to this every week. And of course, like always, if you guys got topics, anything like that y'all want us to really break bread and talk about, say something. You know what I mean? Get active with us on Twitter, just like one of the topics tonight. Get active with us on on Twitter. Let us know something, and we'll definitely get on. If you want to get on too, create yourself a Skype account. Just create a Skype account, a free Skype account, so that way you could be in on it as well. If you want to get on, because we'd love to have some of you guys get on too. If there's anything you guys want to talk about as well. So, but that's it.
That's it. Hold your breath, guys. No touchdown. Hold on, it's 3rd and goal. Hold on. We're going to sit here. I just want to see what's going to happen, man. Give you all a live update. 13 seconds. 3rd and goal. That same guy, Brown, I was just talking about, had it right in his hand and he dropped it. I mean, hit him right in the breadbasket. He drops it. And the Bengals almost picked it off in the end zone. Let's see if they can get in there. Red Fox. Yeah, man, listen. It's what Smitty said. 2K would have to be the one to make it. And even with that, I'm telling you, this is... Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Oh, they got it. Go ahead, Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco almost got sacked. Rolled to the right. Threw it to the tight end. Touchdown. Okay, they back in the game now. So it should be 28-14 with 8 seconds left in the first half. But yeah, 2K or somebody would have to make it in order for it to, even get any respect. But don't forget, the game probably wouldn't do that good the first couple years because millions of people love Madden. It's not gonna be enough. I don't think they could even sell enough units, Smitty, to where they would feel like it's worth it. The world, the people, I mean, think about it. XFL in the first year might not even get a lot of viewership at first. It's going to gradually grow. It would be the same thing in the gaming space. So I just don't know don't expect anybody to make the game out the gate is what we're saying. I would love them to. I just not sure it would happen. So there you have it. But all right, guys, we appreciate y'all coming through, man. If you are a Ravens and Bengals fan, watch the rest of this game. It could end up maybe the Ravens can bring it back and make it. They only down 14 now, so you still got a chance. Bengal fans, y'all still have a chance if y'all can hold on to the league. And everybody else who has a team, unless you are a Chiefs fan, good luck. And we'll be talking next week with some more gaming news And yeah, appreciate y'all listening in, man. We catch y'all later. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Oh, be safe, man. If you are in the Carolinas,
Oh yes, yes.
Virginia, be safe and be smart. I've already talked to some people that told me, "Oh, I'm just gonna tough it." Listen,
Man,
it makes
all that.
no sense to just say, "I'm just gonna rough it out." Why? If you can leave, leave. But y'all be safe out there, man. All right, we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.